The disciples gathered beneath the Bodhi tree, awaiting the wisdom of the Buddha. His gaze was calm, reflecting infinite compassion. He spoke with a gentle voice, each word carrying the weight of deep understanding. A healer must first heal the heart. Suffering is not only of the body, it is also of the mind. Compassion begins with recognizing pain beyond the physical. A physician must listen, not only to words but to silence. Within silence lies fear, uncertainty, and longing for kindness. The greatest medicine is not always found in herbs but in presence. To sit beside the suffering is the first act of healing. A disciple, young and eager, raised his hand. Master, how does one heal without medicines? He searched the Buddha's eyes for answers. The Buddha smiled, his expression as soft as the morning light. Healing begins with awareness. Awareness births understanding, which nurtures compassion. When a healer sees a patient, let them not see an ailment. Let them see a person, whole and deserving of dignity. The disciple bowed his head, contemplating the weight of such wisdom. Another disciple, older and weary, spoke. But suffering is endless. The Buddha nodded, acknowledging the burden felt by those who serve. Suffering is vast, but kindness is the light that pierces it. Buddha's eyes reflected approval, his voice calm as he spoke again. We do not suffer impermanence. We suffer resistance to its truth. The river flows without clinging to the banks. So must a healer work without grasping at outcomes. Serve, but do not attach. The weary disciple sighed, but Master, if my heart aches for those I cannot save, what am I to do? The Buddha pointed to a single flame, flickering but strong. A single flame does not burn out by sharing its light with another. A healer gives but must also receive. Balance is key. Care must be offered to others and to oneself alike. If a physician exhausts themselves, who will remain to tend to the sick? Rest is not indulgence, but necessity in service. Another disciple, filled with doubt, spoke. But what if compassion is mistaken for weakness? What if the world does not value kindness? The Buddha closed his eyes briefly, then opened them, filled with warmth. True compassion is without condition. It does not require recognition. A kind act ripples outward, unseen but felt. The world is changed not through great declarations, but quiet moments of care. Even if one does not acknowledge it, compassion remains. Healing occurs beyond what is measured. Trust in the unseen goodness you create. The disciple bowed, accepting the teaching. The Bodhi tree rustled, as if whispering agreement. The Buddha sat still, his presence a beacon of peace. The disciples understood, their hearts expanding with the wisdom shared. They would carry these teachings forward, healing in ways beyond medicine. Thus, beneath the Bodhi tree, the lesson of compassion and healing was sown, ready to bloom in the hands of those who listened. Another day, another gathering beneath the Bodhi tree. Ananda frowned in thought. So, Master, should we seek silence more than speech? Buddha dipped the brush once more, adding a second stroke beside the first. His hands trembled, burdened by unhealed wounds. The Buddha regarded him with kindness. A hand that heals must not carry the weight of outcomes but the purity of service. The healer lowered his gaze. Master, my heart aches for those I could not save. Their suffering lingers within me. The Buddha pointed to the sky, where clouds passed without attachment to the earth. The river does not grasp, yet it nourishes. A physician must act with devotion but not possession. The outcome is not in their hands, only the sincerity of their efforts. Buddha watched the ink dry. The final stroke is not the end, nor the beginning, merely a continuation. Compassion is not to carry suffering, but to acknowledge and honor it. A healer must listen, but not absorb pain as their own. The weight of many sorrows will only weaken the hands that serve. A disciple, uncertain, spoke. Master, What of those who believe kindness is weakness? How can a healer remain strong? The Buddha gestured to a tree standing firm despite the wind. Strength and gentleness are not opposites. One nurtures the other. A healer does not seek dominance, only presence. They do not overpower suffering but stand beside it, offering the gift of care. The disciple nodded, absorbing the teaching. The wind rustled the leaves, as if whispering the wisdom further into the world. Another healer, older and burdened, spoke. Master, my hands have grown weary. How can I continue without faltering? The Buddha held up his own hand, steady and open. A hand that heals must rest. Service must not consume one's spirit. Compassion must include oneself. A healer who neglects their own well-being will have no strength to offer others. The disciples listened, their minds unraveling the meaning within the words. They had seen many healers fall under the weight of sacrifice. The Buddha continued, balance sustains all things. Rest is not indulgence but wisdom. Without it, even the strongest falter. The older healer exhaled, understanding at last. His hands, once trembling, steadied as the burden eased. A disciple, quiet until now, spoke. Master, how do we teach others compassion? How does kindness extend beyond ourselves? The Buddha looked toward a single lamp. One flame ignites many. One act of care ripples far beyond its origin. A physician who treats with kindness teaches others. A family touched by compassion carries that lesson forward into their lives. Healing is not isolated. It is shared, moving unseen but ever present. A healer never stands alone in their efforts. The disciple bowed, recognizing the depth of the teaching. The Bodhi tree stood still, as if holding the wisdom within its branches. The Buddha remained silent for a moment, then spoke once more. A healer serves, but is never separate from those they heal. Compassion is the bond between all beings, a thread that weaves through each act of care. It does not disappear, only grows. The disciples sat in reflection, their hearts expanded by the truth offered. They would carry these teachings beyond this place. And so, beneath the Bodhi tree, the lesson of healing and balance was given, to be carried forward in every act of care. Another day, another gathering beneath the Bodhi tree. The disciples sat in quiet anticipation, awaiting the Buddha's words with open hearts. A young healer approached, eyes filled with uncertainty. Master, how does one nurture compassion when faced with cruelty and rejection? The Buddha regarded him with kindness. Compassion is not a transaction. It does not require recognition, nor does it seek reward. The healer bowed his head. But if the world does not value kindness, how can it truly create change? The Buddha gestured to a single flame. A lamp does not ask if its light is welcomed. It simply burns, offering illumination. One act of compassion plants a seed, unseen but growing. Kindness ripples outward, touching lives beyond what the eye can see. A disciple, thoughtful, asked, if kindness spreads, why do so many still suffer? His voice trembled with longing for answers. The Buddha's gaze remained gentle. Suffering exists, but compassion does not erase it. It transforms its weight into shared understanding. To acknowledge pain without turning away is the beginning of healing. When one suffers alone, the burden is heavy. When one is held in compassion, even suffering changes. It becomes something lighter, something shared instead of isolated. A healer must not remove suffering, but rather stand beside it, offering presence as the greatest form of care. Another disciple, older, spoke. Master, is there a limit to compassion? Must one give endlessly, never resting? The Buddha nodded. Compassion is boundless, but the body is not. A flame must be tended or it will fade. A healer who forgets their own well-being cannot serve for long. Balance sustains all things, including the one who gives. A disciple, silent until now, asked, "Master, what is the greatest lesson in healing?" His hands trembled with anticipation. The Buddha closed his eyes briefly, then spoke. "The greatest lesson is knowing that healing is not done alone. No act of compassion is isolated. It carries forward, unseen but shaping lives beyond the moment it was given. A single physician who treats with care teaches others to do the same. One act inspires another, forming an unbroken chain." The disciple bowed, understanding at last, then healing is not only of the body, but of the heart and spirit as well. The Buddha smiled. Yes, to heal is not merely to mend flesh, but to restore dignity and remind one of their worth. A physician does not heal alone. They are part of a greater thread, woven through every life they touch. The Bodhi tree stood silent, holding the wisdom within its leaves. The disciples absorbed the teachings, ready to carry them forward. Thus, beneath the Bodhi tree, the lesson of healing through compassion was sown, ready to take root in every act of care. Silence often speaks louder than words. The monk furrowed his brow. Thank you for watching. Buddha's teachings are always with you. Subscribe to our channel and we will see you in the next video.